Quick little lunchtime filler game. You could always play, if you want to make it longer, you could play it more than 12 cards. You could play best 2 out of 3. You could do however you want to do that. So, Chris, today was your first time playing it. What'd you think?
Yeah, like I was saying before the stream, it was fun. I mean, you're not just playing cards automatically, right? You have some options, you're thinking a little bit, and it's certainly an enjoyable time, right? I would sure, if someone wants to play this 5-10 minutes, why not?
Right.
Sort of thing.
Yeah, it's perfect for in between games, or to start a game day, or to finish a game day, like a palate cleanser. Is it super thinking? No, but there is agency to your decisions, right?
Yeah.
I probably, if I didn't discard that card, I don't think I would have got, I would have lost maybe 3 or 7 points, maybe even at the end there.
Strategic discard,
There you go.
That too.
Yeah, there's options.
So what'd you think of this?
No, I enjoy it every time we play. It's frustrating, so you know there's some agency decision because you're like, I did the wrong thing. Why'd I do that? It was interesting to see that play out with you discarding and seeing how that impacted your score, because I don't think we've delved into that a lot. We always try to play every card that we have in our hand. But yeah, it's a tiny little game you can bring with you, so travel sized, bring it to a restaurant while you're waiting for food, play a quick little game, so simple to teach. You know, the rules overhead is none. Like you're 2 types of set collection, really easy.
That's the rules, and honestly, I think they could have cut that in half.
Yeah,
Right.
well, and that's translated from Japanese, so it's missing some words. And you're still fine. Like, you got this.
For sure.
So, yeah, a really quick little game. So
Yeah, and it's... You had mentioned that the missus would enjoy this, right? And
sure.
I think this is a good game. I think it's pretty. Just the color palette. I like the ribbons on it. It's simple aesthetically, but I also think it's a pretty game, so it can draw in non-gamers.
Yeah.
And there is a fair bit of luck because random draws, right, in there. Kind of like Mark says, not for me. Okay, fair enough.
Well, but you can plan ahead with that too, especially with the double letters that are coming up. So you can try to look at your hand and say, okay, if I leave this side open, I have 2-letter options. I can go for ribbons. This side I go for colors. So it's interesting to see different styles as you keep doing it. Like this time I went for ribbons. Last time I went for color sets. But you can't say that one is better than the other. So it's not just a thing where you're like, oh, this is how you play this game, because it depends on how the cards come up. So that's a place where that randomness makes the game interesting every time. That's like replayability randomness versus just random randomness.
Yeah, you're not just, like I was trying to say, I think, maybe I'll try to say more eloquently, you're not just playing a card down, because I knew I wanted to get a string of A's at the end here, so I was trying to diversify the other letters with my A's in my hand, so that I have more options when the card gets flipped over that I might be able to play it.
Right, and that's where I'm thinking, in first blush, you see this and you're like, oh, that's too simple. But honestly, when you're looking at those 6 cards in your hand, so you have some insight, you know what's come up, you're trying to guess what might come up next, but you're really not going to know, what 2 letters.
But giving yourself options.
Giving yourself some wiggle room, which I didn't do this time. You were saying you weren't doing very well, and Chris was able to open things up and even see where he should discard a card. Yeah, there's some strategy there, and it's tiny and can fit in your bag. So, it's not BIOS Origins. It's not some huge thinky game that you're going to dive into, which obviously I would always prefer to play. But we're not bringing that to a restaurant to eat while we're waiting for, to play while we're waiting for appetizers.
No. We'll eat on that table. This
table's for the game.
Right.
So this is, there's a place for something like this you can throw in your bag. And personally, I always like to have a game like this on hand and kind of a series of them to go through to pull out and play a game and start a conversation when we're out.
Plus, here's the way I see it, is this a must-have by anybody? No. But we like to try and highlight games that you're not going to otherwise hear about, because I asked you guys during the play, how many of y'all had heard about this? I don't think anybody had.
Yeah.
So just putting games on your radar. They're not all going to be ones that match for you and your group, but it will for somebody. So there you go.
That's the point.
So hopefully you guys enjoyed it. If you did, like and subscribe down below. Go one step further. Support the show over on pledgehc.com. Join us over in the Slack channel when you do so. There are other benefits that you're going to get, Patreon rewards, which actually are going to be getting sent out here very soon, and the other benefit is we upgrade our equipment. So we're looking at getting a PTZ camera for the show to help bring some of the bigger games for you guys to be able to view a little bit better. If that happens, when that number hits 800. So we definitely appreciate your support over on pledgehc.com.
I can't tell you how great the Slack channel, though, is. If you enjoyed joining in with these streams and getting into the chat, being able to be in Slack and talk about a lot of these, and a lot of the things that get streamed come up there first, where people in the herd are talking about them, making suggestions, bringing them to our attention. Yeah.
There you go. So we'll catch y'all tomorrow night with Santiago, another old school bidding game that I was told fell out of favor. I'd never played it until a couple weeks ago and loved it. Really big fan of it. Hopefully you guys join us for that tomorrow night. So we'll see you then. I'm Edward.
I'm Jess.
I'm still Chris.
We'll catch y'all later. Have a great rest of your day. We're going to, now, speaking of which, we're actually going to dive into BIOS Origin. So we'll see y'all later. Take care.
That's right.